Ian Arnold, bringthenoiseuk.com, here with guys from The Answer. How you doing, guys?
Very well, man. How are you?
Not too bad. So we just saw you played Festival in Holland last night.
We did.
Now you got Sonisphere tomorrow.
Yeah.
How do they differ? Because UK festivals is kind of where people go backwards in the whole evolution thing in the crowd. They start forgetting where to go to the toilet, how to treat women. What's the differences for you guys from up on stage, your view?
I think, I'm not sure if it's a difference in wherever you are in Europe. I think it's more a difference in the type of festival you're at. I think a rock and metal festival has a very similar vibe no matter where you are, in Europe anyway. You know, we were in Hellfest a couple of weeks ago, a bit smaller than Sonisphere, but similar vibe nonetheless. You know, very open-minded crowd, a lot of good people out there, just really there for the right reasons. You know, I mean, we're coming from a very different festival in Holland. Yesterday it was a lot more kind of organised and sensible, and you know, a lot less people unconscious laying about in the ground. But that's maybe I think a Dutch festival is very uniquely Dutch at the best of times. But I got to say, this kind of atmosphere here, you know, with The Answer are right at home. Yeah.
So how's things going for you guys in the banks? I mean, you had the tracks piece by piece, free download of the Sonisphere site. What kind of spurred you to do that?
Well, it's partly, I mean, it's primarily to get the campaign for the new album kick-started. We thought we'd put out piece by piece because it's a track that we just could not fit onto our 12-track album. But yet,
it's a great song.
It sounds like I'm contradicting myself. It was one of our favourite songs out of the 17 tracks that we recorded in El Paso, but we thought, well, you know, a way of splitting the difference is to put it out as the lead track, you know, and just a taster to celebrate the kind of imminent arrival of the album. And I think it's serving its purpose very well. You know, we're giving it away for free on our website and on the Sonisphere website. There's a lot of people that have been downloading it since it went online about 4 or 5 days ago, and it's a good taster of what's to come.
So, and the album is called The Revival?
Just Revival.
Revival?
Yeah.
Out in October?
It's out the 3rd of October, I believe.
With the name Revival, is that for you guys specifically, as in you feel that this is a revival of yourselves and the band, or is it just...
Well, it's more about reviving rock and roll. You know, I think the genre itself needs a real injection of energy at you know, in its current status. I think you know, there's too many bands out there maybe care a bit too much about the whole image of the thing and not enough about the songs that they're playing or the attitude that they have. You know, I mean, we're out with this album to literally revive rock and roll from the grassroots up. You know, we're starting the whole campaign in the UK with a club tour. You know, going back to a lot of the venues that we first started out in. You know, and getting face to face with our audience again, which is something that we didn't do enough of. Obviously, whenever we were on tour with those Aussie boys. But I think, you know, it's just. You know, but the whole process of making this album and the songs that we've come out with, The Other Side, it's a very positive statement, and I think you know, I think it'll turn a few heads, and you know, Revival just seemed like a perfect title for the album, because you know, it obviously conjures up images of you know, a renewed faith in rock and roll and all the rest, you know.
So talking of before, when you obviously played with the bigger arenas, do you miss the intimacy? Because I know you're doing the club tour, but how much do you miss it? You know, being able to see the people's faces, see them actually go shit crazy for your music.
I think it's something I mean, if there was one downside of that whole AC/DC tour, that would have to be it.
Yeah, we kind of lost out on getting to play to our audience. On the second album, I mean, we started the AC/DC tour, and then the album came out. We were already on tour, so we were playing these big, you know, huge stadiums even, and we couldn't really get the our fans. You know, we were playing to AC/DC's fans, which, you know, a lot of them are our fans as well. But so I think it's something that's very important for us on this album. Start off, you know, as Cormac says, get back to the ground level, do the clubs, get sweaty, and let the people see us. You know, go out and meet the people, and sort of build it up from there.
So you're almost going back to original, starting again.
Kind of starting again. You know, it's slightly different, obviously, to the early days, and that we have a bit of a bigger fan base, thankfully now. You know,
yeah.
But definitely we're kind of trying to wipe the slate clean a bit, and maybe to a certain extent make up for some of the the more intimate shows that we would have liked to have played on the Everyday Demons cycle that we couldn't do. You know, we're going to start with that, and then after Christmas step up to the slightly bigger venues again. But yeah, I mean, good times ahead, man. We're really looking forward to it.
If you were to look back, is there anything you wish you'd done differently?
Not really.
So much tequila. It's the one thing.
Should never have grown my hair. Or got into this.
With it for a certain amount of time. Anyway.
Got into this damned rock and roll business in the first place. No, I mean, I'm not one who really has many regrets, you know.
Yeah. So, what is it about the whole rock and roll life or the music that really gets you going? No matter what band, when you put on one of their tracks, how does it make you feel inside, the way you want your fans to feel when they listen to your music?
I'd like to think that our fans listen to our music and they'll walk away with smiles on their faces, you know. I think I like to view our music and our shows and our albums as a kind of celebration of celebration of life, good and bad, you know, but taking it on, standing up tall and facing whatever problems you might have down and working it out and moving on. You know, I think it's maybe something to do with the Northern Irish mentality. You know, you're naturally quite positive and you don't really have much time for these people who who crawl about and complain an awful lot and just generally be overly negative all the time. You know, and I think I'd like to think that our music kind of brings out a little bit of the best in people. You know.
Cool. And talking, of Northern Ireland, and when you guys saw, obviously, your play there, why do you think so many bands seem to forget about the extremities of the UK and surrounding areas? Northern Ireland, sometimes the bands just don't seem to go there enough.
Yeah, I think. I think it's changing rapidly. You know, I mean, we're getting more and more big bands coming to play. I mean, for a start, there wasn't a proper arena in Belfast until maybe 6 or 7 years ago. But now, I mean, we went to see Metallica there last year. We went to see Pearl Jam. I think you had the classic rockathon of Def Leppard, then Lizzie and Alice Cooper there quite recently as well. And the kind of next level down, there's plenty of clubs now and like the kind of 1,000, 1.5 capacity venues in Belfast that's starting to attract more and more bands. But
the scene's growing.
I mean, definitely whenever we were starting out, it was a different situation altogether. We really had to travel to London to get anybody to notice us. Did
that bug you at the time?
Not really. It was kind of just what you had to do,
Little day trip.
Aye, bit of a trip. The boys would drive the transit. We'd get the ferry over to Wales and then drive down to London. And
these boys drinking in the back.
I was drinking Buckfast in the back. They were good times, but I got to tell you, like Northern Ireland right now, the music scene is very healthy. There's a handful of bands that are really coming up through the ranks. A few of them are actually playing this festival. And I think it's kind of indicative of the state of the music scene over there, that there are bands starting to break through, not necessarily going through the same avenues as we went through.
Any we should check out in particular? Any names?
There's a band called Mojo Fury playing tomorrow during the day. They've got their debut album out at the moment. You've got So I Watch You From Afar, an instrumental band who've done a lot of touring over the last couple of years. They're making a name for themselves. There's a good rock and roll band called Swanee River from back home. There's a few good rock and roll bands. You've got $1 Million Reload, you've got Trucker Diablo.
Yep.
Just, man, you got to get yourself over to Belfast. It's a good scene, you know.
We'll come over there. Whose house are we going to stay at?
I can stay in Maine.
That'd be cool.
If you don't mind sleeping on the floor, you can stay in Maine.
We're sleeping in a field at the moment, so the floor is an upgrade.
All right.
Well, thank you very much for your time, guys.